Hello, everybody. Welcome to the OK Roundtable. I'm Kim Sex.
I'm Phot.
And I'm Mort. And I had a joke for that, but I forgot it, so never mind.
Is it the Men in Black? Does I make this look good? Because I'm wearing a pony shirt. Like we came up with the sunglasses shit like right before we started doing anything. Phot just showed up.
Phot just showed up with sunglasses, and I'm not gonna not join.
I have a reason
fad.
to wear sunglasses.
What is your reason to wear sunglasses?
Here are my glasses.
Most of the time I see you without the glasses. What are you talking about?
What? I wear them all the time.
I don't know what you're talking about. I feel like this is fake news. Yeah, but wearing these have been. The reason I don't wear my glasses is purely for the issue of the reflection. Like I don't need my glasses for close things. I only need it for driving. So you're saying
these glasses are prescription?
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm wearing them right now. But
I have to wear sunglasses when I drive because I can't see otherwise.
See, I want to get prescription sunglasses only for driving and I guess work, but still, it just feels like it'd be a lot better because like these are transitions, and they'll transition pretty well. But I have to be in the sun, and with the UV protection of vehicles, it just doesn't kick in. So it's like
I can't see.
I have to wear eyes because I can't see. Okay. Oh. But yeah, I didn't realize that you needed glasses that badly, Phot.
It's pretty bad.
You should probably fix those glasses, dude. Because that's a pretty big one.
So
if you have to wear
these
eyeballs,
glasses,
man.
Fix your eyeballs.
They're $11. Lasted 3 years.
Dude, that's pretty good.
We're glad to have you, man.
That's a pretty good fucking return of investment right there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
$11, 3 years worth of use. Like these cost me $250, like $250.
Oh shit, 250?
Yeah,
Fuck.
because they're special glasses.
What?
Because they're big enough for my fat ass head. It's literally a brand called Fathead. Literally a brand called Fathead. Like,
I'm gonna look this up now.
Yeah, look up FH Fat. Oh, fuck you, fuck your Bing. But it's a brand called Fathead, and it's just wider because normally glasses, like if you see even with these, like typically just sliding them on, this is where it hits, right? So I have to like kind of pull them out a lot to then do that.
Ooh. Yeah, those are pretty expensive.
Yeah, they're not cheap. See, it pushes like these push against my head really like badly, and regular glasses just don't do it for me. Like they're, and all it is, I think, like an extra, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch to an inch, like longer, but it does so. Oh my! It just feels comfortable, like against my face. It's exactly what I need.
These are just sunglasses.
I have a big head, dude. I'm sorry.
They're woodies. They're wood. I don't know if you can see the stamp on. It says woodies.
Yeah, I get mine from.
Like $20 on Amazon.
I get mine from Zenny Optical.
From Zenyatta? You get yours from Zenyatta? He's a fucking robot, dude. How are you doing that?
Say it.
Zenny Optical.
But yeah, that's the reason why. Like, I try to keep very good care of them. Then like, I need to go back and get my eyes checked again so they can change the lenses. But I just want them to take this and then replace the lenses. I don't want them to be like, oh, we're gonna order a new pair. Like, no, I don't want to pay another $250. That's fine. But all right, so lots of shit happened this week. Lots of things.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. We'll talk about that at the end. We'll talk about how Game of Thrones ended here at the end. But yeah, I gotta leave for that. That's what we're talking about at the end. We're not gonna talk about it now. But as far as your HBO subscription goes, I know Nick was wondering. Holy crap, Nick's being attacked. Mort's down, dude. Oh.
It's fucking moth, man. Hold up.
Oh no.
You done? Yep. Okay. So we have traps, right? Little triangular folding, sticky pheromone traps.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's the wrong pheromones for these types of moths. But if they land on the wall, and you just kind of stick one to it, they'll just land on it and get stuck.
So that's interesting.
It's the hard way, but it works.
So HBO
Yeah, but
subscription.
I pay for shit.
Yeah, like
I'm kind of obnoxious that way.
Plex is great. Plex is great if you can have a library that's worth it, but you still gotta download it regardless. And HBO produces the show, so you can say screw HBO all day, but they produce the show regardless.
Yeah, I have a thing about paying for shit, so I do that.
Yeah.
Money. No, but Nick had a question about what would keep you paying for your subscription. What are the what other HBO properties are there to watch? Because they clearly ramped up. Because HBO's service, their digital service anyway, always has previews the way that their other stuff works. Like when you watch it, when you have a cable subscription and you have HBO, it's all like on a schedule. Obviously, it's not on demand. But anytime you watch something on demand too, they have a nice little like current preview of stuff at the beginning, and in the case of Game of Thrones, they had it at the end as well. And it was basically a, please don't remove your subscription. We have other shit too.
It very much was.
It was a great thing. But yeah, so it's like you have Westworld, you have Barry. Barry just had their season 2 finale.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I haven't started it yet.
That's a great one. Like, there's plenty of reason to have it. If you,
I'm interested in Chernobyl.
Chernobyl's also been pretty good. I've only watched the first episode
yet, but interested. I have no idea what's going on with that Euphoria show. Like, I cannot wrap my brain around that.
Have you seen any of the episodes?
Not yet. Like, again, I haven't dived into the HBO library much yet.
All I know is that
I spent a lot of time helping Lauren catch up, so I don't get to watch.
all I know is that it has Zendaya, and that makes me want to watch it. Cause, like, she is the kind of actress that you see and you're like, I hope you do well. Don't get in any trouble. Just fucking keep being in stuff, please.
What is the Chernobyl thing about?
It's about Chernobyl.
Chernobyl.
Like another
about the nuclear meltdown. No, about the nuclear meltdown.
A show about it, like a drama?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's an HBO drama about the fucking Chernobyl disaster. Like, it's kind of interesting, but like, I'm kind of seeing where it goes because everyone kind of already knows what happens. Or at least although it happened, what year did it happen? Like 1990? When did Chernobyl happen?
91, 92. I should know this. We watched shit about it just recently. Like, Lauren didn't really know anything about it. Like,
we watched the show.
we haven't done that yet. But when we started to see previews for it while watching Game of Thrones, she was like, I don't know that much about Chernobyl, really. And I'm like, okay, let's watch some YouTube shit about it.
Oh, it was in 86.
Well, that's right, because it was before my time, but not by a whole lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chernobyl is more than just a Call of Duty map. Okay, Phot?
It's weird, though, because they replicate the area really accurately in a lot of games. So, like, if you go and watch stuff from it, like, it's kind of eerily familiar a lot of the time.
Only because I've seen the news footage. Like, you see the news footage of the abandoned cities, and it's just like,
yeah,
holy crap! They literally just said, "Everyone, get the fuck out."
Yeah,
they had to. I know their choice, man. They would have died horrible deaths.
It would have been.
Anyway.
I forgot what documentary, but they kind of went into explicit detail as to like what happened to the scientists who just stayed on near the reactor and their like skin just started to melt.
Well, no, there was the guy who went back in to like shut it off. That
an idiot as well.
That they kept alive to do experiments on him. Like, he had died like 5 times, but they kept bringing him back to life, and he was just like, "Please kill me." Yeah, they just wanted to see what radiation would do to the body, like that much exposure. And it turns out it literally destroys your DNA.
Yeah, it's not good for you.
Like, they were saying it was like the double helix, it was starting to like break apart. That's how much damage it does at that level. that it unravels the cells that keep your body together.
It's pretty rough.
And then Phot just laughs at that description. Insensitive, dude. Fucking insensitive.
Here's another one. His Dark Materials. I'm pretty interested in that.
That's the whole thing about HBO series. I feel like they're all so well produced, but because they're on HBO, most people just kind of like skip past them.
Yeah, they kind of miss it.
Like Game of Thrones is that phenomenon that got people to like pay for subscriptions.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a few things that have kind of been progressively doing that over time. Like, Rome got a lot of people on board. Sopranos got a lot of people on board.
But for Sopranos was
Band of
before streaming, so like that forced people to get a cable package with that shit.
Yeah, it happened.
But now, like I think if those shows were to come out now, I think it would be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll pay the $15 a month or whatever to get in on those miniseries and shit.
Yeah.
Does HBO still have a Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Curb Your Enthusiasm is coming back. Yes. How
many seasons? I remember my dad used to watch that.
I mean, it took a fucking 6-year
hiatus.
Yeah, it's been a while.
What about Silicon Valley?
My goodness. Silicon Valley?
Yeah, I've watched a season of it. I really liked it. Again, I haven't.
I love Silicon. You only saw the first season?
Yeah.
It's really good, but it's one of those things where some of the information, because it is tech related, is very much an in the moment kind of thing, where unless you have a pretty good knowledge of what's been going on in the tech world, and then like if you catch it later, you kind of have to know why certain things are like work as jokes. Because like, when something happens in Google or whatever, there's like a big news story, they've kind of incorporated that in at the time. It kind of reminds me of particular special victim units episodes. I don't know if you watched SVU, but they'll take whatever happened that previous year or even the last few months and then like incorporate it into an episode.
Yeah.
Like the legitimate rape quote happened and then like it was in an episode 2 weeks later.
Goddamn.
Like it was a quick as fuck turnaround to make an episode about current events, and I feel like they do that kind of in the tech world, but like more vaguely. But it's really good. It's a good show. I recommend it. Definitely check out Silicon Valley.
Yeah, I really liked what I'd seen. I just, again, sometimes I get stalled out on stuff and then have to pick it back up later. I think I talked about this last time. I recently tried to pick up The Office again, and it kind of stalled out again. I got farther this time. I got the second season.
All right, so to go back to Curb Your Enthusiasm, though, after the 8th season concluded in September 2011, Curb Your Enthusiasm went on an indefinite hiatus, and then it finally returned for a 9th season in 2017, and then 10th in December of that year, and then it premieres next year. So it's been in 3 years of development for 9th and 10th season. Well, so there you go. So they've been off the air since 2011. So they're coming back, baby.
I'm interested in the new Watchmen show. Really interested.
I don't know how to feel. Like, when's the last time you've seen Watchmen, Phot? The actual movie.
The actual movie is a show like a continuation of the movie.
I don't know.
We're not totally sure.
Maybe
it does have Vate in it, Ozymandias, played by Jason Isaacs.
I think I saw pieces of it last year. I think the last time I saw the movie all the way through was like maybe 3 years ago.
Because I feel like if the show's a continuation, because all it shows is a bunch of like it's like TikTok, and it had like a bunch of people in Rorschach masks, and then like a couple of vague imagery, and then it was like Watchmen. And I'm wondering if
those flashes of scenes, like you can't really get any sense of what's happening per se, but you kind of get a feel for some of the characters and maybe settings.
When is it premiering?
Soon. Don't cancel your subscription. Soon, TM.
It's coming soon. Find
Just
out
just
more.
soon.
Just soon.
I mean, it looks pretty polished. So
Fall of 2019. So this year. It's supposed to come out this year.
I'm only one season into Westworld, but I'm interested to see what's going to happen. In the next
Arya
two.
Stark shows up.
Sure. I really kind of want them to just kind of sideways pilot that into the live ship traders stuff. Like she's a perfect Althea, so just like cast her and roll with it.
There you
Let's
go.
go. Like, you don't have to change shit. Just use the same costume, use the same boat. Just like, okay, move her to the other set. Here we go. That's all it needs to be.
Move to the other set. Let's go. Chop chop. Saving money here.
Yep. We're making billions. Let's roll.
Shit. I still don't understand HBO's business model. Like, not really. Like, how do they make money? Other than, like, okay, now they have, like, the streaming service, I guess, adding it to packages. Yeah, get a little bit of that.
So you have streaming services, but the traditional cable model, I'm reasonably sure they got paid by cable companies to add their programming to it, and then got a cut of the customers actually paying for it as well.
Like, it just seems like it's been a strange thing since they started producing more and more content.
Yeah, but I mean, you know how many like hotels and stuff have HBO just for their guests? I mean, there's tons of ways HBO can make money.
I guess that's also true. It's not just homeowners, but still.
Bars and shit for shows like that. I don't know. Imagine they do broadcast rights for big stuff. Like imagine Game of Thrones watch parties get broadcast rights and shit. So
Oh shit!
kind of like pay-per-view.
They also have pay-per-view events. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boxing.
Same idea.
So
And when you make it yourself, you can set the price.
that's also true. To move on past that though, so the Sonic movie is delayed until February of 2020,
It is.
and the reason for that is
The art was bullshit.
to not have crunch. Like they could have done it in the same time because they never changed the release date at first, and then everyone was like, "Fuck that, dude! I would rather wait."
Yeah, but I mean that's why though.
Like, and I appreciate the studio going like, fine, like we'll spend the extra money, we'll push it on the line because it does make sense to not do that because the public perception will be way higher and better, and that's why I think, I'm being completely honest with you, I honestly think that they did not have a finished movie with that fucking monster. There's no way.
Maybe not.
There's no way. I feel like they put this out there to see if there's gonna even have any reaction.
Maybe.
And then if there's a kind of like, oh, it looks like crap. They could have done better, this and that. I'm excited, and then you have all this buzz around it, and the studio goes like, okay, we'll give you the rest of the money for the fucking animation. They're like, yay! But
Hey,
then
I gotta go off camera for just a second.
oh shit.
Uh-oh.
But I honestly think that oh, look at that. That's wrong.
Oh no.
That's wrong.
Hey, look, I'm Nick.
There you go.
Where's Nick over here?
Because for some reason the order of you guys swapped again, and I'm just like, fuck it. Like, it happens.
So you just think they didn't have a finished movie?
I honestly do not think they had a finished movie. No, I do not.
I can buy that. I really can.
Like, because
They
go on.
like they probably just, like you said, they probably just wanted the reaction. They're like, oh, this looks terrible.
Or okay, I can get excited. I would be excited if it looked better. Blah blah blah. Like, because I think that they probably weren't given enough money to like
Like, make a trailer, see what happens, and then we'll give you the rest.
Yeah, no, I think because like Deadpool had that little intro scene made, right? And then they kind of shelved it. And then then like someone, I don't know if it was Ryan Reynolds, but someone leaked it. And then everyone was like, "Oh fuck, this looks amazing, blah blah blah, do it, fucking do it." And then they were like, "Okay." And they put the money behind it. And I honestly think they made this fucking monstrosity of a Sonic just to be like, we need to get them to react to it really, really badly. Because of course they could have done better. Of course they could have done better. They could have made him look exactly like they did in the cartoon, and people would have been like, okay, like that's fine.
Just a cartoon Sonic and everything else is 3D.
Yeah, it'd be fine. No, if they 3D rendered him the way they do in like Sonic 06 or like even the current 3D models, they could have literally just implanted that and been like, done. GG. Instead, they created this monstrosity with like human teeth. They're like, it looks creepy as shit. And all the thing they did it on purpose. There's no way that's my fucking tinfoil hat. They did it on purpose, man. It was all done on purpose.
Everybody's in on it.
Everyone's in on it. The studio's making money. Like, someone's fucking doing something, dude. Because I think they also did that for... I don't know if you saw the... They had done a pilot for a Tremors series. Like, they want to make a series with Tremors.
Was it that trailer that you sent in the chat?
Yes, the one with Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, but he's all old.
Yeah, like he's much older, and they're just kind of like, you're just obsessed with what you did back then. Like, like everyone knows the Graboids are dead. I think that they released that trailer just to be like, hey, would you guys want this? Like, they shot the pilot, but they never released the pilot. But they released a trailer for the pilot to get the buzz going. And I honestly think that that's kind of where they're doing with Pokemon. Because again, how long ago did they release the
Sorry, I'm back.
They released
Pokemon.
the image of Sonic. They had like the silhouettes, and people were kind of like, "What the fuck is with his legs? Like, what is this?"
What the fuck was with his legs though? Like, how do you just fuck it up so bad?
Oh,
How do you
yeah,
swing and
yeah.
miss so
On
hard?
purpose.
I remember that now.
I don't know, man. That's a really risky move.
The fucking tinfoil hat. I think they didn't have the money to finish all the animation, so they released. They did this purposeful negative campaign buzz.
I mean, I heard what y'all were saying. Like, I don't know, man. Like I said, it's just risky. Like, I guess if you're in a Deadpool kind of situation where it's just gonna get shelved otherwise, like, might as well.
You have to. You just have to be okay with it. Like that somewhere there's genius marketing where they're like, we don't have the money for this. We need to fucking secure funding somehow. Like, and the studio's fucking losing faith. And this has to be it. This has to be the fucking way out, dude.
Just show them how bad Sonic is.
Well, because I mean, it's kind of what's that philosophy where they were saying that the idea that if you can't have it, you want it more.
You
like
want what you can't have.
Yeah, the forbidden fruit kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes me think of what they've been doing with Rick and Morty. Because like I
think it just takes Dan Harmon a really long time to get his shit together to do.
But like,
I never believe any conspiracy theories about them having any more of a plan. Like, you imagine that room where it's those two egos having to go at it against each other. Like, it's amazing they ever got 3 seasons done in the first fucking place.
Yeah, but like they got the negotiation tactics to be like, yeah, order 100 episodes, bitch. Like, you better make us hit syndication. Like, okay. Like, that's a pretty crafty move. Could you start making some episodes now? Like, that would be cool if you could get some stuff. Cool. Have we ever watched Harmon Quest? I don't know. Did you guys ever watch Harmon Quest or listen to Harmon Quest?
I heard about it and I have not.
I'm aware of it. I've listened to Harmon Town when it was doing the Harmon Quest stuff.
Oh yeah, initially they were doing on that.
Yeah, like I was, I don't know. Harmon went through his divorce the same time I went through mine, and so a lot of that shit kind of rubbed the wrong way, and I just stopped listening to it. Kind of flamed out for it.
I think that's my issue with Dan Harmon as a person, though. Like, I feel like he's very smart, but then like when you hear him just talk, sometimes I'm just kind of like I have to check out. Like, I love your creative work. Whenever you're on rails, if you're have your constraints, but that's the reason why I didn't like Harmontown that much, because it was a lot of it's I'm the smartest guy in the room.
Right.
Watch me.
When I enjoy listening to Harmontown, I never like sat there and was like, "Oh yeah, Dan Harmon makes good points." I always sit there and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're a useless sack of shit."
Make more
And
episodes.
he admits that and understands that and knows that about himself, and that's fine. But that can only do so much.
Right.
Only do so much.
Speaking of other shows that are kind of in a weird creative area, Archer's coming back. Archer 1999. It's the first time they've ever mentioned a year. So Archer 1999, because like I don't know if you like ever
up to
pay
date.
attention. Are you up to date?
Mhm.
So you watch Dreamland?
Mhm.
Okay. But like, have you ever like watched interviews with Adam Reed and all of them talk, like, and the creators talk about the show?
Occasionally, it's been a long time though.
Like they kind of feel like, well, fuck, what can we do now? Like, like, the spy stuff works, I guess, but like, how about we sell drugs? How about we do cocaine like that? All right, let's do that. So Archer Vice was a thing.
Yeah, this sounds like a fun concept. I don't know who said rails, and I'm afraid that I said rails.
I said rails. Harmon,
Okay.
Dan Harmon is better when he has some sort of rails and constraints of
yeah.
what he can and cannot do.
Yeah. When he's moderated a bit.
Yeah, when there's someone on him a little bit.
Like, Jeff B. Davis does a pretty good job of keeping him at bay a lot of the time, but he also antagonizes it a lot too, so.
I mean, when you gotta poke it, you gotta poke the bear, all right? You poke the bear.
Yeah. I could do with that as rapping.
Is it just me? I feel like, and I feel the strangest sense of pretentiousness when I say shit like this, but I kind of hope that you guys kind of understand. There are certain things that I like that I absolutely hate 99% of people who also like it, but the people who
100%.
like it,
100%.
like
Rick and Morty, for instance.
like Rick and Morty is high up on that list of,
Yep.
man, do I hate Rick and Morty fans. I
Yeah.
fucking hate them.
That's starting to become with me and Overwatch fans as well.
Okay, but okay. When we're talking about Overwatch fans, though, do you mean Overwatch like people who follow the development, or is it just the game, or is it the pros? Like, what section of the people who like that stuff do you not like? Because you and I follow the juice. Like, you and I will go deep in there. We're watching streamers. We're listening to streamer juice. Like, we got the
streamer's personal live shit.
yeah, like the whole when XQC does no condensation, like that's like next level. Like, I like Overwatch and the stuff around Overwatch. But there's also the people who are like, I'm going to tell you that 222 is the way to go, or like, no, Goats is fine. Those are like, where are you at on the people that you hate?
I guess it's more just like the I don't know where to put them.
Like, where does that line go? Because you hate a little bit from each of them, but where's that? Because I don't mind Overwatch fans a lot of the time.
I don't know, like it just seems really cringy to me sometimes, and I'm like I'm associated with that group.
I mean, if we're talking about danger from association, like, let's be honest. There's some fucking weird people
Yeah,
in the Brony fandom, and I'm just like, oh fuck, dude. Like, I just like the show. Can I like the show, like the message, and not like think about the people who are like overly sexualizing fucking cartoon ponies? Please, can I not be that part of that group? Can I not be associated with that section of the fandom? Fucking for real.
I do pretty much love the queer community. Like, yeah, I could just kind of hang out with them 24/7 and leave the rest of y'all behind. Not y'all specifically, but like straight people, yeah, no, I'm good. I'll pass.
I think as far as like straight people, I think everyone for the most part can agree those like really aggro like shitheads that are just like, yeah, I love pussy, who like have to kind of
We're
make,
proud of being straight.
yeah, like they're so proud.
They have to reaffirm everybody that they're so straight.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Not that
Just
I
in
never.
case I might get the wrong idea.
Like they have what is known as the case of the not gays, like where they need to express the fact that, by the way, guys, totally not gay. Like I need some way, guys. My girlfriend. It's like, yeah, we know who she is. Like you don't have to fucking talk about her like that.
Have you guys both watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yes.
Okay.
I have.
Well, I have.
Okay.
Phot. Shun.
Phot.
Shun.
This will be the slightest of spoilers.
That's fine.
But one of the main characters is gay, and is so from the very first episode from the pilot. But every time he describes a woman when he's like trying to be undercover or pretend to be straight, he talks about her what is it, warm heavy breasts. It's always heavy breasts, and he does this,
just her very supple
her
bosom,
feminine heavy breasts, and you're like be gayer. Like, God damn.
It is the best. It is the best. Like
by the show.
It's the best depiction of someone who's completely out of their element in every show. Like, he was just trying to be like, yes, my loving wife. Like he's just very Raymond Holt, Captain Holt. Yeah, he's a great character. Just a great character overall.
The whole show is.
Yeah, Phot, have you even seen that? Like, oh
Yeah,
my
fucking
god,
Phot.
fuck you, dude!
You
Like,
can't even talk about it now. You're just,
like
Okay, where can I watch it?
Hulu.
Oh,
What?
I don't have Hulu.
I'll give you a fucking
dude.
login.
I know, dude.
I
Like,
pay for shit. I'm the mom. You come to me for things. Fuck. Like,
I got myself. I got my own like Netflix and Hulu shit. Like, I got that connection already. I get my Spotify through Nick. Because he paid for a thing that like got him like what, 5 accounts.
it's be four family subscriptions, and I don't care who you give it to.
But you only
Me
needed
and
2.
Lauren, and
But you only needed 2. Like, so
then,
I
then
took
my
one.
son Kitty Man.
Yes. Fucking
My
nailed
son,
it,
Kitty
dude.
Man, who lives out in Texas.
He spread his wings, I guess.
Yeah, I pay for shit.
Yeah, you definitely need to catch up. You get
Catch
that
me
link.
outside.
You also, okay, both of you, well, Nick, since you have Hulu, there's a documentary. I don't remember if I brought it up in the podcast before. There's a documentary that you should totally watch. It's on. I didn't even find out what it's called. He's not a card magician, okay? He calls himself a mechanic.
Yeah,
He's a card mechanic.
interesting.
And I liked the distinction. It's a
Sorry,
okay.
there's an option to turn on watch only kid friendly programming. I'm really tempted to turn it on.
Oh no. It's a documentary called Dealt. And it's a little documentary about him dealing with his trade, I guess you could say, because it's very specific. It's not just card. He's not doing card tricks. He's a card mechanic. He is also completely blind, and he can do all this crazy shit that I have never like seen, that only he can do. And apparently he's so good at being able to tell like a pack of cards by feel that they like he can tell like how much moisture was in the factory when it was made. Like he can tell all that shit, and the card companies send him like here's one of every 1,000 cards or whatever, and I want you to go through and check it to see if that batch was good. Like that's how That's how much they trust this guy's abilities and his fingertips. So yeah, definitely check that out. So there's two things you got to watch, Phot. You got to watch some Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and you got to watch Delt. I recommend that to anybody. It literally blew my mind seeing this documentary. Like, this guy is also based in Texas. I would love to go, like, just go see him. Just to be like, I want to hug you because I love your story. Yeah, other than that, it's fine. A couple new trailers came out. I believe I linked them in the chat to you guys to have watched. Not sure if you did. Hopefully you did. But there is like Terminator Dark Fate, a new Terminator movie.
I just didn't get around to doing it. I was supposed to have time this afternoon.
True. No, but it's. I mean, the two trailers don't have.
Still my fault for not preparing better,
but Terminator Dark Fate and Picard. Picard was like very short.
I'm 100% into both of them, just as a concept. Linda Hamilton in anything I'll watch. Don't care. She's my TV.
I think anything that's in the Terminator universe that doesn't take place either between 1 and 2 or before 1, anything or takes place in the future era, or at least that one particular future, before they send back what's his name? I forgot his name. What's the guy they sent back in the first movie? Before they send Hunky Man back to Father the Savior of the world.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
John Connor.
No, the dad.
No, the kid is John Connor.
Fuck, I can't remember his name. I should know this.
Isn't it Reed? Either way, before they send him back, that anytime there's only certain times I think that a movie can still be made. Because other than that, you kind of ruin the message behind the second Terminator. Mm-hmm. Like Terminator 2, the whole point was like you can change shit, blah blah blah. Then Terminator 3 comes out and says, "Nah, it will still happen. All you did was delay it." Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, way to ruin a good message there, where it's just we're closing this loop, man.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then you got Salvation, and then you got Genesis, and then oh my god, and now it's Terminator Dark Fate. Linda Hamilton's back, and it's like,
okay, look, there's two things you have to know about the Terminator series.
Okay.
You know, 1 was good, 2 was great, gotten worse ever since, and I will always watch them. It doesn't matter why.
Those are 2 things I need to know.
Those are 2 things you need to know about Terminator.
They're shit, and I'll always watch them.
They're not good, and I'm gonna keep giving them money because fucking.
Oh man.
Like I've never not like enjoyed something about the ride. Like it can be bad, and you're just like, yeah, okay, this is schlocky enough. I can get behind it.
I didn't mind
you brought Arnold back?
Salvation
Okay,
so
fine.
hard.
I don't care if the story's bad. You brought Arnold back.
Like I didn't mind Salvation so hard because again, it took place.
As long as
in
you
the
didn't
future.
have everything ruined for you. Like apparently one of the trailers like ruined everything.
For which one? Genesis?
For Salvation. Yeah.
Is it the one that exposed the fact that he was actually a Terminator? Yeah.
It'd be like if you had the trailer of Blade Runner and it was like, by the way, guess who's a replicant?
Except
Like,
2049.
I still haven't.
Well, it's one of those things.
Okay.
It also depends on which. It depends which cut of Blade Runner you watched. Okay, there's like 17 cuts, and each one of
Which
them.
one are we talking about today? What's today's answer?
There's a whole different cut where just the font is different on everything. Okay, like that's how crazy this shit is.
The graphic designer's cut.
Yeah, it's all in Comic Sans. Like everything you see is in Comic Sans.
Papyrus. That's even worse.
Papyrus.
Like, Comic Sans at least is legible and printable.
True.
It's just awful. It's just bad. And it's so used.
But then there's
so often.
There was also the teaser for Picard. That
Picard too.
The post that I saw said it's been 25 years since All Good Things, and I'm like, so are we are gonna forget the movies, right? Is that what we're hoping to do? That the movies didn't count because they were shit?
Unless he just kind of like writes it off. Like, yeah, I was a Borg for a while. Like,
Well, the Borg thing happened in the show. I'm talking about the movies sucked dick, starting with Generations. Like, could we? So we're gonna completely negate the fact that we killed like James Kirk by throwing like he's holding onto a bridge, right? We're getting rid of that whole bridge death bullshit.
Like they just go full comic book. Like we'll just kill off people and bring them back indiscriminately. Like whatever this particular script requires, that's what we're gonna do. That's fine. Nobody wanted to get rid of the characters, but they wanted to have impactful moments. So like whatever. Fuck it.
I was just like, I didn't need to see Kirk die. I could have. It's fine. It's fine. We brought back Scotty in the show. That was fine. We brought back Bones in the show. That was fine. Right? Bones showed up. No, not Bones. Who showed up? Someone else showed up in the show. Another original crew member. Whatever. Like, it wasn't Bones, was it? Or was it Bones?
Sulu shows up.
Does Sulu show up in Next Gen?
I think so. Isn't he in a captain or something in Next Generation and an admiral? I forget, man. It's hard to keep up. I haven't watched it in a long time. We're watching through Next Generation right now. Lauren is her first foray into Star Trek.
Because I know Spock was in it. Spock was still alive during Unification. And they brought back his dad as well. So that was always good.
Dads are important, I hear.
And he was affected by dementia, the Vulcan dementia. he had the alien crazies. He couldn't
space crazies.
He had the space crazies. But yeah, so if Picard negates the movies, I'll be super happy. But I'm still kind of like, the little teaser trailer is like, so why did you leave Starfleet? And it's just a shot of Patrick Stewart's face, like super like serious, and I'm like, okay, I'm in. Because I know Patrick Stewart. Again, Patrick Stewart's entire arc when it comes to Star Trek is the most precious thing on the planet. Because he started the show, because he did not believe in it. He was like, how the fuck do you continue such a legendary show? Like, it's so campy and so in its own thing. You can't continue that because it doesn't work in today's era. And so apparently when he first started, like in season 1, he kept his bags packed because he thought they were gonna get canceled. And then so like by the time that like season 3 and 4 rolled around, like he was fully sold in, especially after Jane Roddenberry died, because that's when he got better. And yeah, he was fully bought in. And then like by the end of it, he was like, "This, I'm very proud of what we did here." And it's so much to the point where when Galaxy Quest came out, he didn't want to go see it because he thought they were making fun of him.
Right.
And Jonathan Frakes,
one of the better Star Trek movies.
Jonathan Frakes said, "I saw it, dude. You need to watch it." And he's like, "Are you sure? Like, I feel like it's just gonna be a big joke." And he's like, "No, super respectful. You'll love it." Like,
I wish I could have been a fly on the wall phone call.
Oh yeah, to hear Jonathan Frakes call Patrick Stewart, "Dude, watch Galaxy Quest."
No, you have to fucking watch this movie, bro.
Tim Allen is great. Like, Alan Rickman is fucking phenomenal. Like, it's great. And it makes me think of what Brent Spiner and LeVar Burton think of it. I'd love to hear all of them get together and talk about a movie that they were not a part of.
I'd listen to that.
I would love that particular like hour-long conversation. Like, have them all watch it, then talk about like what resonated with them, what was close, blah blah blah.
Or have them do it like I don't know, like director commentary style.
That'd be good.
Over the whole movie, just like talk about stuff.
A commentary track over Galaxy Quest. That would be fucking hilarious. They're not part. They didn't make the movie. They're not anything part of it, dude.
Like, we're just watching as fans, but here's what we think.
Here's our thoughts on the thing.
I'd pay money for it.
I just know that now Patrick Stewart, like, other than the movies, because the movies were just kind of whatever. But like, he says, "I will never do Picard again unless the scripts are really good." And there's some respect on there. So it makes me think,
some respect on that name.
I am excited to see what Patrick Stewart thinks is respectful towards Picard. Because I'm like, all right, dude, you're doing this show. I've been watching Discovery. I'm kind of Let's see where you go with this, buddy. I don't know if Phot has ever watched Star Trek because he doesn't watch shit. Apparently, he doesn't even watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Have you seen Star Trek?
Oh, what was that Star Trek movie that came out?
Star Trek 2009, the one with Pine.
Chris Pine and Hemsworth.
I guess so.
The recent.
I don't know. You got to tell us, Phot. Like, I could name a bunch of shit. You got to tell us.
Was it the one with the whales? Like what?
I don't know. It had time travel. I think.
Was it Ricardo Montalban with his chest out? Is that the one? Oh, it's
I
a
don't
fake.
know who that is.
It was a fake chest. Time travel. Okay, so then probably there's the one with the whales. Then was it the old Star Trek? Is it classic Trek?
Was it a bald captain or a horny captain? Hornier captain. Really horny captain.
My celibacy is on record, Captain.
Green chicks or was somebody reading minds? Like, give us something.
I think there was a green chick.
Man, you're terrible at this, Phot. Holy shit. This is why you use Bing.
Are you thinking of
This is
Guardians
exactly
of the
why I
Galaxy?
use
I feel like Bing
Let me-
runs
let me-
your brain right now because it is awful.
Let me use Bing to
Fine,
figure this
fine.
out.
You're thinking of Guardians of the Galaxy. That's Gamora.
Oh no, dude. Pepega.
Oh yeah, it was the 2009 version. Yeah.
Okay. Where Chris Hemsworth was an unknown actor.
Yeah. he was the fill-in for 5 minutes in the cold open. Oh man. Thor really helped his career out.
It really did.
He put the time in early and got rewarded on the back end. I respect it. Respect.
Kappa Pride? He got rewarded in the back end. I hope so. I hope he got rewarded in the back end. But speaking of Thor, Taika Waititi is apparently going to be doing a live-action Akira movie.
I've heard rumors of that.
And it is set to be released in summer 2021 with Neo Tokyo setting confirmed, which means, okay, so it's going to take place in Neo Tokyo. Because the whole thing is the manga and stuff took place in the 2020 Olympics, right? There was something about that where the 2020 Olympics were in Tokyo.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And surprisingly enough, 2020 is where they're having it in Tokyo. The Olympics are happening in Tokyo. They called it, dude. They fucking called it.
I mean, they kind of might have encouraged it a little bit.
We gotta make sure Akira happens.
God. That's the worst, dude. That's actually the fucking worst.
You know, back in like 2000, they were like, it takes about 20 years to get that ball rolling, and Akira said it happened in 2020, so I'll give it a shot.
I'm curious to see what they do with the story, like how pure, because we're now in a post, I guess, Endgame kind of world where a big spectacle movie that's 3 hours long can work. Like, what's the time constraint on an Akira live action movie? Because you kind of have to, I think, ease people in, because I don't know how general audience they want to go. Because like when the animation came out, anime was anime. They could do whatever the fuck they want, especially back then.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if have you guys watched Akira, like the actual anime, or read it, anything like that?
I haven't read
Familiar
the
with it,
actual manga, but I've watched the movie.
I mean, it's fucking iconic as shit. So personally, I'm a little like worried, but I trust Taika Waititi. So I'm in a weird spot where I don't want to be that super cynical, like, oh, Hollywood's gonna fucking ruin it. Especially when it's like, you have Taika, dude. You got fucking Hawaiian shirt man. Like, you can't beat that. You can't beat the tropical shirt man. He just what we do in the shadows was just so fucking brilliant. Like, how could you not? And Ragnarok was so fucking brilliant. How could you not? How could you not be part of that and be like, yeah, this is good. This is really good. Oh, this is gonna be good. But because like, what do they do? They do like weird experiments in that fucking movie, in that story. And this is where I use my segue powers to talk about that other thing I wanted to talk about. That a judge apparently allowed parents to use their dead son's sperm to make grandchildren.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Like apparently the kid, he said that if anything happened to him, he wanted to have, or the one thing he wanted was to have kids and a family. But that was like it was like he said it's not really in written.
Right, like it wasn't a written will. It wasn't there wasn't a legal document behind it.
Like the parents could just be lying and say that he wanted kids. There's no real way to.
I'm just trying to figure out what that is in
Back it up.
Alabama. Is that kidnapping?
Um, would you consider it kidnapping?
I don't know. No. Apparently, depending on who you ask in the Alabama legislature, a a fertilized embryo that's not actually implanted in a womb somewhere doesn't count as a person. It's just when it's in a woman specifically. So maybe not. I don't know. I don't really understand how the rules are interpreted around.
things are a little bit, crazy. But like, let me read the part of judge ruling. It's like at this time, the court will place no restrictions on the use to which Peter's parents may ultimately put their son's sperm, including its potential for procreative purposes. Like they can do whatever they want with it because he's dead, and so they hold all power of attorney over his body, including, I guess, organ donations and that. Should his parents choose to do so in the future, it would not do violence to his memory. That's a very strange way to word that.
It's weird.
I don't know. Would you now I have to think about it. Like, would you guys write now that there's some precedent put upon that? What would you write into your will? That if you didn't have kids and something, you got into an accident like that. This guy got into a skiing accident and was hospitalized, pronounced brain dead. Are you now gonna have to put into your will, and don't make children from my fucking sperm? If I
allow this to serve, don't make children from my fucking sperm. This is on public record. Okay, witnesses are here. This is a legally binding agreement.
There's a legally binding podcast.
It actually would hold up in court. Do not use my fucking sperm to make some weird, fucked up freak kids when I'm dead. I use my body for anything else. Everything else but that.
Like, I'm an organ donor. I don't know. Phot, you?
Same.
I don't know.
You don't know if you're an organ donor?
Oh no, I'm an organ donor.
I was like, check your fucking license, my dude. You need to change that shit right away.
I just don't know how I feel about the whole. Yeah, just hijack my sperm and make kids with it.
I mean,
you know what? I wouldn't be cool with it. I wouldn't.
Part of me is kind of like, well, if I'm dead, do I care? Like, do I really care? If I'm in that situation, I don't know, man. Whatever.
I mean, I have very strong opinions about why I don't want to have kids, and that's specifically about my particular genetics getting passed on. That's a huge part of the concern for me. So yeah, taking my sperm and making kids would be a gross violation of who I am as a person.
Count me down as a maybe. Legally binding podcast. That's what this is. This is going to be called the Legally Binding Podcast.
Yeah, that's the name of this episode.
We got it now.
I like the Legally Binding Podcast, actually. Or maybe the new name. We'll keep y'all up to date.
The Legally Binding episode. Here you go. Where we just start proclaiming shit. Like, this is our video will right here.
Hey, that should absolutely count.
I feel like it should. 100%.
Sound, mind, and body. just saying common sense shit. Anybody who knows me should know that that's my opinion on that. Come on.
I feel like, how far have we come that we're just kind of like, oh yeah, well your son is brain dead, so what would you like to what would you like to do? So like, where do the parents, like, where would that fucking mindset come from? That is it their desire for grandchildren? Was it really his desire for kids? Like, even if
It would have to also include their desire for grandchildren, or else they wouldn't do it probably.
well, because I have to think about, like, okay, so
Oh.
if
Okay, hold up. Specifically, one piece of evidence that I think we need to make clear.
okay,
He did not have sperm donations on ice somewhere.
that's what I'm saying. They were extracted post accident.
Took that shit.
They took it out of it. That's what I'm saying.
That's so much more fucked up.
Yeah, it wasn't like he had shit.
I wasn't okay with it when he just had sperm on ice. That's how not okay with this I am.
That's what I mean by they just said, like, oh, you're brain dead, and the parents go, could you give me that sperm though? Could you get?
I mean,
like, can we still get it out? Like where did that fucking, like, idea come from? Other than, like, there must be some really deep desire for grandchildren. But even then, it's kind of like, dude, that's a hard no. That's gonna be a hard no.
Let me look this up again.
firm
the
pass.
good old Bing.
Good old, god damn it.
Good old bing-a-ling-a-ling.
Guess I'm typing in parents want sperm.
That's not a thing you search in Bing. You're gonna get really good porn, dude. You're gonna get that taboo incest porn. Oh my god. That's not the search you want to be fucking putting in, dude.
Safe search on.
Safe search on, dude. Oh no.
Oh, fine.
Oh, okay. I have to read through this. That's a lot to read through.
I don't even know with you sometimes. You little scamp.
Oh my god. All right, so let me read from this excerpt from a 2018 ethics report. Is posthumous gamete or sperm retrieval or use for reproductive purposes is ethically justifiable if written documentation from the deceased authorizing the procedure is available, which makes sense. But it goes on to make one exception, saying, in the absence of written documentation from the decedent, not the deceased, but decedent, I don't know. Programs open to considering requests for posthumous use of embryos or gametes should only do so when such requests are initiated by the surviving spouse or partner. So the parents are not either of those things. Like, apparently in 2007, a court in Iowa granted a request by parents to retrieve their son's sperm so they could donate it to their son's fiancée. Which, okay, like if there's an untimely death, but they wanted kids, blah blah blah, like, okay, I guess. Don't know if I would want any partner of mine to go, yeah, but I still want kids though. Like, I think it's okay. I would be okay. Hey, if I die an untimely death before anything happens, I would want you to move on. I'd want you to be okay and just find someone else and find that connection again with someone else and have that person's children. Like, that's fine. That's fine.
What if she just backs out?
What if she just backs out? Like, I don't know.
What if she's just like, nah, I'm sketched. Like, I'm not doing this.
Well, there was that.
Throw it in the trash.
If you ever watched House, if you guys watch, I know Nick watched the first, at least the several first seasons.
I was up to when he went to rehab.
He gets out of there pretty quickly. I know it's a very big triggering thing, but still, you should totally skip that entire part. I think it's only like the first 5 episodes.
I think I've watched maybe like the last season just without context or a recap or something. Like I know how it ends.
Yeah, but the ending itself is kind of whatever. I like the journey there. But Fa, have you ever seen House?
I've only seen a handful of episodes.
Okay, well, Dr. Cameron, her big thing that gets revealed over the course of the first few seasons is the fact that, like, okay, so she was married before, he died of cancer, but then apparently, like, she knew about that before even going in, so he was a dying man beforehand. Uh, and so that's like her flaw is she wants to take care of broken people. And part of it is that she still has his sperm on ice. Like, and that was a big issue that came up
Was if
later
she
on.
wanted to
Right,
have
was whether or not
kids.
she would have his kids.
Hmm.
Like, because there's a certain point where then she gets with Dr. Chase. So Chase and Cameron were together. And he was always kind of like, if you having that means that you always have like an exit strategy. And there's always something else there. You always have that backup plan that you shouldn't need.
Right.
So this whole thing is very, very weird and very strange. Here's another one. A judge in Texas granted a mother the right to have her son's sperm retrieved when he died at the age of 21 in 2009. She intended to hire a surrogate to carry his child. Damn. Like, there wasn't a spouse involved. There was no partner. He just died young. And she was like, nah, but I want them grandbabies. Like, give me that. I want them so much, I'm going to pay someone to carry it.
It's weird, man.
And this is fucking next level science fiction shit. Like,
It's really weird. Like just if you have to push the ethical boundaries, maybe just don't. Like as a default, you'd be like, oh wow, if this is such a weird thing, like maybe I should back off a little bit and not do this.
like I understand being able to create the procedure to do it and stuff, but in practice, I think might be one of those things where let's give it a bit more time.
Right?
Let's give it a bit more time before we go forward on this one.
If y'all want to do that, go adopt. Like there's plenty of kids in the foster system. Go get one of those. They need it. They really do badly. Ugh. It's frustrating.
So even though the judge ruled on this, according to this article, according to the New York Times, finding a surrogate willing to carry the baby may not be easy. The same goes for finding a fertility clinic willing to give the sperm to the surrogate so the baby can be raised by its grandparents. So, hey, our son died. He really wanted kids. Who wants to be the mommy? We'll pay you. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, I'd feel kind of it's up in the air even if there was a partner, because I feel like you should just move on. Like I feel like if something were to happen to me, I would hope you'd move on. I would hope that there'd be some sort of closure and not just, oh yeah, well he died and there's his kid. Like,
No, like if I die, I want Lauren to be fucked up. I'm just kidding. Like yeah,
no, to have your children after you're gone.
Lauren, please don't do that.
Don't do that. Legally binding podcast says no. You can't. You're not allowed
Very
to.
upset with you in my non-existence.
I'll haunt you.
Just
I'll
gonna
knock.
sit there in the void and just be angry about it.
I'm gonna dangle some wind chimes at you. You fucking watch out.
If there is a hell, there's a spot for me. And I'm gonna come back for you.
I'm coming back. That's just such
Saving
a
a spot
fucking
just for
weird.
you.
It's such a weird story. Like just as a whole, that's a very weird story.
I don't like it.
Oh, I don't like
I
it.
don't like it.
It's I'm worried. I'm worried about the kind of precedent like that sort of thing sets, because I feel like that's only a rich people problem, don't you think? Like, because paying a
No
surrogate's
poor
not
person's gonna
cheap,
do that one way or the other.
right?
It's not gonna be an option.
A surrogate is really fucking expensive. Like to take the sperm and then essentially do IVF is also expensive. Like, what is it, like a couple thousand, like a few grand, several grand,
Oh yeah,
several grand,
easily.
easy.
It depends on how many takes it takes.
How many take him? Yeah, that's another thing. Like, what if you run out of sperm before you fucking get it right? You can't just say like, "Hey, go again." Nope, that's it, dude.
Not going again.
No, go again. There's none of that shit. You're done.
This is so
You
great.
shot your last shot, dude. And it was after you were technically brain dead. Like, well, what's the procedure like? I have to, like, I don't want to be disrespectful to the dead, but what's that procedure like? Do they have to like jerk them off? Do they just go in with a? Do they surgically get in there?
I don't know. I suppose they could, since he's dead and being used for getting donor stuff at that point. Like, I guess you could, but like, they don't go in and surgically remove it for like a horse when you're inseminating it. Like, I don't know. Seems like the easiest way is the old-fashioned one.
That's what I'm saying. So it's kind of like, all right, we're drawing straws today, nurses. Who's gonna jerk off the dead guy?
It would have to be a surgical procedure. There's no way you would convince somebody to do that. No.
I feel like
Not doing that does not violate the Hippocratic.
I feel like if a nurse were to do that or whatever, or even a doctor, to manually stimulate a brain dead person for extraction, I feel like you'd go home that day and just kind of sit in the corner and like have like some scotch with you and just think about shit for a while, because you're like, I just jerked off a dead dude. Like, I don't know, man. Like,
I picked the wrong profession.
I should have been a librarian. This is fucking bullshit. I don't know why librarian, but should have been a librarian, man. I could be telling kids to shut up right now. I could be cataloging things. Like, not this shit. Okay, so let's see. We got about half an hour left. I think that's plenty of time to rant about Game of Thrones. So I know Zelia said he couldn't stick around. He should have watched it already. It's been 5 days.
Or just be spoiled. It's not going to change.
Or just be spoiled. Yeah, it doesn't change what you're gonna see. It's not like
going to fix it.
Oof. I think that's itself is a spoiler for your thoughts. Phot.
It's really not. Like, my thoughts on the episode are a continuation of my thoughts from the other episode. Like, this shit was rushed. Like, they bailed for Star Wars. It's obvious. Like, you can see how the story that was unfolded could be interesting if they did it. If they, like,
You could see the particular plot points, and the plot points themselves are not much of an issue. It's the execution and arrival.
Yeah, it's terrible storytelling, at the very least.
So
that's what happens. Like, when the storytelling is boring, you end up going with tropes, and that's why it's not good, or even occasionally like just downright like not okay.
So spoiler warning. If you haven't seen this, if you're watching this on YouTube, hopefully you've already seen it. We're already done.
Spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning.
There we go. Over here somewhere.
All right, so what's your take? What's your takeaway from this episode? Other than, thank God Ghost got pets. Holy shit.
Right. That was the only part I liked, really.
The goodest of boys.
Good boy or best boy?
I mean, best.
What was Stephen Colbert's thing? Great boy or greatest boy? Like,
you see my little white text addendum there, right? Yes.
Yes.
He is best boy.
Go ahead and put up the poll.
Oh, shut up. It's what
I think I can describe my entire feeling on the episode as this. As we start to get towards Dany's demise, like, I'm not surprised that that's going to happen, but I found myself dreading that it was going to happen now. Like, not because I was even like I was convinced it was going to happen. But I was convinced that was going to happen because that makes sense from a really kind of reading perspective, I guess. Could be interesting, but wasn't. But like I'm just sitting there like, really, we're just gonna plow right into it, like with no like pomp and circumstance. We're just gonna quick kiss and then a stabby, and not the good kind. Like it's so rushed, every bit of it, man. It should have been great. Like a dragon destroying King's Landing should have been the coolest thing ever, and it was uncomfortable instead, just horribly uncomfortable.
I like the fact that it was uncomfortable. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with what happened. I'm fine with the fucking wanton destruction. That's fine. I just don't
against it. It's just like we never got to see anything that like felt right.
I just think that we could have had just that an extra episode or two
leading up to it.
Leading up to getting
10 episodes, it could have worked. If they'd done 2 seasons of it, it really could have.
They could have gone 10 seasons.
But I'm willing to bet that they just had to nuke the story so bad because they killed so many other storylines. Like, Doran's all gone. The other Targaryen doesn't even show up. Like, a ton of people that aren't alive anymore. People that never showed up in the show at all. Like, Brienne's probably fucking dead. Like,
who?
Brienne?
She shows up in the fucking last episode. She's writing in the book.
You mean in the book? She's probably fucking dead.
She's writing.
Oh, I thought you meant like I thought we were talking about the show. I was like, she was there.
No,
she was
in the book.
She was writing her Jaime Lannister fan fiction.
Like,
yeah, she's like
this close to being dead, and it's like, okay, next book, and we're just waiting to.
But I'm wondering if that because they knew how George told them how the conclusion was going, and that's why it really felt like here are the cliff notes of the story beats we were given. Here's where by the way, Arya kills the Night King. By the way, Bran ends up becoming king. By the way, Jon kills Dany. By the way,
Jon kills Dany, and we don't see anybody but the fucking dragon react on screen. Everybody else is just like, oh, well, okay, we're moving on with the consequences. Like, we don't even get to see anybody grieve. Like,
we saw Angry Grey Worm, and that's it.
Yeah.
We saw him at the fucking hearing. Like, why couldn't we have seen him, like, get the news? Like, I'd actually be curious to see how that played out. Like, they come in and Jon's like, hey, so I killed Dany, and then
a dragon
fucked off with her?
Right, like...
Arrest me?
I think, like, how did that fucking go about?
Logistics.
How did Grey Worm just straight out kill him?
No shit, right? Like, there's so. I don't think a good ending should pose more questions than it answers.
What happened to the Dothraki?
What happened to them telling her like 30 seconds before on screen, like, hey, here's where the Iron Fleet is, and then she's like, okay, let's just all up in there and not remember the Iron Fleet's there. Like, they whooped our ass like 2 weeks ago. But like, let's forget about them and die by the same strategy.
And here's the thing. And here's an interesting tactical piece of information that I thought was interesting to show how quickly it was rushed. Because, okay, the Iron Fleet takes out one of the dragons. Is probably, by the way, how they get down to one dragon is this. And so instead of like, okay, well, Euron has like these magicians underneath the boats, like that's part of his whole thing, and like he probably could have been shrouded in mist, so they didn't know that he were there. So there was a sneak attack. All these things that they could have done that are in the book, that are like references in the book, and they could have like totally fucking taken advantage of. Instead, it was just like, nope, they just shot it. But like.
Here,
what I would find out was
no,
wait, hang on. For what I found out, just from 100 feet in the air, you have a 12-mile fucking point of view around you from 100 feet, and those dragons fly pretty goddamn high. And you're on a clear day. Though, oh yeah, they just shot it. They were high.
Here's my hot take. I think when the books come out, if they ever do, when Brandon Sanderson finishes them.
Oh, that's the hottest take.
When that happens, in 2024, wow, that'd be weird. Anyway, whenever the book does end up coming out, if so, I think what'll happen is the whole dragons, zombie dragon, and I don't know if any of them will ever die. I don't know if that's going to happen. There's no need for there to be an ice dragon to take down the wall in the books because we have the horn. There's this horn that will knock the whole fucking wall down.
But the Night King doesn't have that, do they?
No, Sam has it.
Who?
Sam.
Samuel Tarly
Mhm.
has a horn that will knock down the wall.
Will knock down the wall. I mean that's a pervasive fan theory, but it's a theory with just as much backing as any other that's been proven right by the show. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that whole thing is just not how that goes. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if she just rolls in and wipes the floor with him. I don't know.
But the question is, why would he use that horn?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It would be hard to find a reason. But, like, I'm trying to wrap my brain around how you can even make the ending from the show work with the book. Because you don't have... Euron isn't Euron the way he is in the book. Like, there's two different people that kind of got smushed together to make Euron. It's Victorian and Euron, and they're very different approaches, and there's a lot going on there.
Right.
Like, things are just so different, even from just where we left off with the books. It can't get to where it got here.
But I feel the same way from the start, though. Like, since the adaptation started, everyone's like, "Oh, the first few seasons are so faithful." And it's like they cut out a lot. Like, they had to streamline it quite a bit, regardless of how close it was and how much it felt. There's a lot of things, like, I don't know who Kevin Lannister is.
Uncle?
He's not in the show.
It's I think it's Tyrion's uncle, which would be
the one who went to Valyria.
Yes.
Yeah, the one who went to
Valyria
with the family.
But I think you're right. Yeah.
And never came back. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not in the show. Have no fucking clue.
I mean, there's all sorts of shit. Again, Lady Stoneheart, I think that's a really interesting part that isn't in the show. Because the whole point that's trying to show is that when you come back different, changed, a different person. And like, if they
you're no longer the
on
same
that
person.
for Jon, like if Jon came back very turned, and still was loving good old Jon, but also that I could see him coming back and being like, I have to be much more utilitarian because there's nothing beyond this, so we have to treat life precious because there is no afterlife. And
but Beric
Dany
comes back a billion times, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he's not the same kind of Beric. Like, the Brother Without Banners is pretty lawful evil in the books. And like, he comes back really, really quick too, which is another point. Like, Stoneheart comes back a long time later, and after she's been like in the river and bloated and shit, so like comes back real hardcore tainted. Like, she is hardcore. She's who's leading the Brotherhood Without Banners and just killing everybody. So I mean, if you just had Jon lie there for a day or two, like, he could come back real dark. And like I said, I think it'd be interesting if he killed Dany because he values the life of all people, like, specifically. And he's like, no, we can't just go killing people indiscriminately. Like, there's nothing else after this. This is all that matters. Like, that could be an interesting take, but you can't have that because we didn't do Stoneheart. We didn't establish.
But you didn't need to do Stoneheart because, again, they had
could have, though. But in the books, it would have.
Yes, I know. I'm just saying, but like in the show, they still could have done that as the ending.
If they spent more time.
No, not even that. All you needed was a few lines because they peppered it throughout the last few seasons, questioning, "Hey, so you died, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." Is there anything after this? No. They asked Beric that shit. They asked Jon that shit, and they're both just like, "Nah, this is it." Like, there was nothing. So because they kind of threw that out there, that's all you need. Because now here's the motivation. This is now. Like, they could have done that like prior to the Battle of Winterfell. If they had Jon say shit like that about that. Here's why we're fighting. It's not just to live. It's because this life is it. If you die here, it's so other people can also have their now, and not just our now. Our now is to create future nows, kind of thing.
Right.
as weird as that sounds, someone give it time and spruce it up with a writer, and but preferably not D&D. Spruce that dialogue up with a writer and make that speech work, and that's all you need. And then whenever you get the confrontation in the throne room, Jon would just be like, but this is what we fought for. Like, we fought for all. And she goes like, yes, but for what my right is. That's when he just goes, well, then fuck it. Like, and then you're like, okay, so now it's no longer just I do a sad and stabby my love. Because that itself as a trope is really fucking problematic.
It just didn't work. It didn't work for me. It's gonna be a no for me, dog.
I mean, that's why I think that, okay, then Jon shouldn't have been the one to do it. Like, Jon should have been like, this is it, this is now. Like, he could have had that, not done it.
I think your version's fine. I think that works. Like, it just.
I still think that who should have done it was Arya.
I don't disagree.
Only because she is so, not necessarily heartless, but determined and cold from her experiences in that sense.
And she still could have gotten away with, like, killing a queen.
Right, like, she could have snuck away, and then, like, after the fallout of having a dead Dany, and Jon being like, well, here's what happened. Arya is still, no one. She can sneak off, and then whenever they bring everything together about what do we do now with Dany dead, blah, 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 they can still have that council scene, and Tyrion already defied her, so he was already taken away. He can still have his little speech, and then Jon isn't a fucking fugitive, and Bran still gets to become king, and then you just have a scene where all of them are together there in King's Landing. They're talking to Bran, and then there's Arya just kind of pulling the, like, I'm leaving now. Like, here's the thing, and they're kind of like, well, you can't stay here. You're kind of, wanted as the Queen Slayer. And she's kind of like, I know, that's why I'm going west. And they're just kind of like, okay, tearful thing, and she fucks off. Then there's no need to go to the Night's Watch, but Jon decides, I want to go back to the north. I want like the north still.
Yeah, they only had him go back to the Night's Watch to beyond, like. He got there and was like, all right, peace, I'm out again.
He seemed super torn up about it, though, which made no sense. It's like...
It just kind of seemed, I don't know. Like, one last good look. He's always brooding. That could have been a happy face.
Oh.
Just saying.
Like, Phot, your thoughts? Like, what do you think about how that shit went down? Phot and I watched it, by the way, Nick, together. We were in Discord watching this shit together.
I do
we need to do that more often, by the way. Just have little watch parties.
I'm cool with that.
I don't know. When I first saw it with you, I was just like, it was okay. The more I think about it, though, it's just like there's more plot holes, and there's just like, how do you, like, why can't they just make 4 more episodes?
They could have made an entire other season, dude.
Could have done anything they wanted. They had basically a blank check.
I mean, the only thing that they would have to do is go to the actors and renew contracts at that point. Because I think they only had them for 8 years, I think, or eight seasons. All you need to do is say, hey, like, we're going to take another, like, year off, and we're going to do another season, and here's how much money we're going to offer every single one of you, and see where it goes.
Even if you wanted to do 2 6-episode seasons, and be like, hey, we'll shoot 12 of them. It'll be a slightly longer shoot, but you only have to do it once. Then you'll be done.
You only have to do two more episodes than a regular season.
Yeah, and then we'll just wrap it up. Like, we know it's a little bit more than you wanted. Here, pay you for it. I think they would have.
Because I think if you did that,
hell, you could have just done whole episodes that didn't involve some people. Like, you could have just left Cersei and all them out of it completely for 2 episodes. You're not even filming any extra. You're just gonna be like mentioned, in others.
Spoken of.
Yeah.
I think
this is not fucking hard. We can do this. They can do this. Fuck.
Yeah, they totally could have done this. Like the first season, say this new season 8 could have been everything leading up to The Longest Night. So it could have been all of that. So 6 episodes just to do all the lead up and all the Night King shit. And then so the season ends with the ending of the Night King, and then they're just kind of like, well, fuck, now we have to go down south. Like, and that's how it ends. It ends in kind of a, we're kind of fucked here, having to go down with what we have left.
Yeah.
Like, and that would have been the ending of it. And then everyone, you could have an entire whatever, however long of speculation, and then the next 6 episodes would be the first episodes, like the planning and the starting of the march, along with all the, by the way, I'm a Targaryen, and all that drama playing out. And then like episode 2 is like them traveling. Episode 3 is them like discussing and planning shit and talking about it, doing the little exchange about, hey, you should just give up, and Tyrion kind of just being, hey, have we not give up? And it would probably be staged better and not just, hey, let's just stand in the open in front of the scorpions that could take us out in an instant. Like, just all of us are here.
Fly a banner behind the fucking dragon. Surrender.
Just say like, hey, don't shoot, please. I know you just took out a dragon, but don't shoot. We're here.
In my headcanon for the book, which will never come out, so I can just go ahead and live in that happy reality where it's how I want to go. She rolls up the King's Landing with all 3 dragons. Have 3 different banners: surrender or die.
Like just flying around like a plane advertisement. Just all 3 of them
like
surrender and die.
Like as they launch little wooden spheres at the dragon, just like catching and like, you know, fucking with their teeth with and tossing aside, like, because the scorpion didn't work because it's just a big ballista. Like, you can't even get a high enough angle to hit the dragons. Like, all they have to do is come from an approach vector that's like above a 45-degree angle, and you can't do shit. Like, it's so dumb.
Like, as soon as you hit a certain height, like above them, just hover above them. Like, there's nothing you could do. Like,
just stand straight above them and just shoot fireballs straight down. Like, that's all you have to do. They'll never be able to hit you. They'll free, like, it's just dumb.
That's what I'm saying. Dumb. I think that if they had, if you, because like in the books, Euron has those like magical people chained up, right? Like he has a bunch of shit, like warlocks and shit. Like he has a lot of crazy shit that he has magical with him. He could totally be like, all right, I need you guys to form a mist, and so everything is so they're hidden. So they could have been like around Blackwater Bay is all misty and shit. And they can't see that there's where the Iron Fleet is, or he has part of the Iron Fleet over there as a misdirection, and they have the mist over here. So they think, oh, the Iron Fleet's over there, and they're gonna pincer us.
Could have been the Battle of Blackwater Bay, but with a bigger.
Right. Like all I'm thinking about is, okay, so they see part of the Iron Fleet over there, and they're like, okay, if we go in, they want to surround us and come in as we're going in, and so they're thinking, let's move over here. Maybe the mist will be okay. And then they get shot out through the mist, and one of the dragons goes down. If they had just had that short, like 5 minutes of how you could get surprise attacked, and not just Aladdin or fucking Falcor flying. I'm flying. Like it fucking goes down. If you
for the second Iron Fleet demolishment, don't they just cut away to them getting stranded on the beach? They just skip the entire fight and then they're just washing up. I'm pretty sure it does.
For the Iron Fleet?
Yeah, for the second naval battle that last season.
No, they didn't cut to anything except for Euron getting to the beach where Jaime was.
Okay.
You didn't see any. It's even worse than that. She strafed everything and burned it all down. And then Euron shows up on shore.
And it just cuts away, Euron.
And
arriving on the secret beach that no one knows about.
He just happened to show up where the secret passage was.
I wonder if Jaime's here so I can kill him.
And then Jaime becomes the tankiest person alive. He just had so many hit points. He just out of sheer will got himself to Cersei.
It was not good.
No, it was fine, but you could tell that you could definitely see it as again, to me, I feel like D&D were like, this is how we make PowerPoints. Here are our bullet points. By the way, Danny gets stabbed by Jon. By the way, Bran becomes the king. By the way, and that's how it really seemed to me, that they were just taking the bullet point like conclusions that they already
It
had.
was somebody's outline.
It was an outline. The entire episode was more like an outline for the next 2 seasons. Like, here's the things that need to get done, and so they did.
Like, just fill in the gaps yourself. Hey, fix the game yourself.
Yeah, the patch is coming. It's honestly how that episode and the entire season kind of felt. But as I said, what happened did not bother me. Although, like, I read some hot takes about the whole trope of woman being killed by man.
Yeah, you fridged her.
Yeah, I get
You
that.
fridged Danny. Which you didn't have to necessarily be that trope if you'd done the story well. It's really hard to even know how I feel about the story because it wasn't done properly.
And it wasn't given enough time to, like, I guess, justify it. But again, even then, if it shouldn't have been John. He should have had the opportunity and then chosen not to because he's kind of been a pussy this entire time. Like, and I think that's John's character. He's very noble. He's very do the right thing. And that means he would not become the Queenslayer. He would not do it. But Arya would.
Like I said, the only way that works is if you have him come back tainted and valuing life. Like, that's all I could see is him being grim enough to realize that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. And to kill this one person now, despite how he feels for it, will save thousands or millions of lives. So, I mean, that speech, she was ready to go full fascist.
Oh.
She was going to march straight over Europe. I mean...
And we will fight them on the beaches.
Yeah, like... So, like, if you did it right, if you let him stew about it personally for, like, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, maybe?
An episode, maybe?
Like, just any amount of time?
Like, if it was, like, prior...
Not necessarily a bad story, it's just impossible to tell.
If it was prior to, say, the march out of King's Landing... Like, if they had taken over, she does her speech, she basically tells her intentions that, I'm gonna fuck shit up. And he has to sit there, and then is like, well, shit.
Because what makes me think they were trying to do that was when she talks about, you know, how everyone will bend the knee from Winterfell to so-and-so. Kind of cuts to all the Stark kids. You're like, oh, she's sending a shot across the bow. Like... If you'd done that for an episode or two, that would have been interesting. But you did it once, and that was it. And we're supposed to just be satisfied. I feel like
Although
like an unsatisfied lover just sitting here. Oh, that's all I'm getting.
Is this all you're putting out for me, baby?
Okay.
Not enough.
I guess this is better than nothing.
You have to also, though, take into account one of the best parts of the episode, and even the series, came out of this season, where
Cocaine Bowl?
No, not that was awesome. That was cool as shit. Could have been again. That could have been longer, as well. It would have been a great fight. Had it like gone down like a little higher, they went back up to the top of the room, that top room. That would have been cool. But that was a very well framed fight. But what I liked was the council, where their uncle stands up and starts fucking, well, here's why. And then Sansa just says, sit down, uncle. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, we don't need all these self-proclamation bullshit people anymore. Like,
Don't need you to step up there, buddy.
Like, it was...
Wasn't fishing for that.
No one was sitting here asking...
Get it? Because he's a Tully?
That's really bad. That's really bad.
I was watching it and it was dead quiet, and I just hear Kitty Man like burst.
So like she just says, "Sit down, uncle," and I just like, God damn it, that's fucking great. Look, that is great. Oh,
yeah. I was worried they were actually gonna let him go for a minute. I was like, are we really doing this? Really?
Sansa just, uncle, you sit the fuck down. We're canceling that shit.
Sansa's, almost everything I ever wanted her to be. I just would like, 10 more hours of it. I think a Sansa show, just like sitting on the throne making, really good decisions.
I mean, she didn't always make good decisions. She had the
No,
fucking...
just that last season, she played that perfectly. I mean, to a T.
I think
she at least, I mean, like,
best arc.
it feels a little ham-fisted, but she very much took over for Littlefinger. Like, she actually put who she wanted on the throne like 3 times.
She learned.
Question though, Sansa I think is definitely in the running, but who do you think had the best arc over the whole show? We're not talking about the books because the books have their own, little dips and curves.
Do we mean like successfully completed or like
No.
best idea?
I think I'm not because I think
like, are we going with intention?
I don't. However you want to define it, but I don't think that when I always tell people like, who do you think had the best arc? I'm not saying like what was the most satisfying. I think because I think Jaime's arc is a tragic arc because he's always been a toxic person and he failed to overcome his own toxicity.
Yeah,
and it cost him his life.
I mean,
I don't think it was done well at the end. His rush.
Well, but that's purely timing. That's purely timing.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's hard to tell because like again, Bran's arc is a really good one. If you just pretend like the last season was done better, like it makes sense. Like it starts with him falling out the window and ends with him sitting on the throne. Like it is an interesting arc. It just wasn't done particularly well. Daenerys is a really interesting arc with just a shit ending. Like a lot of them just have bad endings. A lot of them didn't wrap up well. Like, I guess John's is the most satisfying over.
Well, because he gets back.
He gets back to the north.
Here's why I have a problem.
That's the part I'm happy with. Like him, Ghost, Tormund, Beyond the Wall. Yes, good ending.
I have to just think that there wasn't really much of an arc there though, because from the beginning, because he was a bastard and blah blah blah. Like he was resigned to go to the watch anyway and renounce anything anyway. So
but he thought that's what he had to do to get honor back. Like he felt like he was a dishonorable person or thing or whatever because of bastard. Like I don't know. It could be an interesting arc if it was done a little bit better. Like going out of duty and then swearing off your duty for love and then coming back to try and find a middle ground and then realizing that ultimately you kind of have to do your duty because of love. I don't know. Like there's some sort of poetry in there. Somebody smarter than me could do it.
Love is the death of duty.
'Twas beauty that killed the beast.
No, I mean that's literally a quote from there.
So was that. That was from King Kong.
I know, but I'm talking about from the show. Damn it!
I know. I'm just saying, like
King Kong.
There is some sort of like King Kongian story in there if you want to try and find it.
I feel like he should have chosen to go beyond the wall. Not you. Oh, the compromise is you have to do that.
I guess he kind of did choose to go beyond the wall. Like he chose to join the Night's Watch, and then or didn't choose. He was forced to join the Night's Watch, and then chose to tell them to fuck off, and went beyond the wall anyway. And that's how I'm interpreting that anyway. I guess you could. I don't know what the Night's Watch is going to do now.
Right, that's another thing. So are
like,
they?
Is he still part of the Night's Watch? I just chose to believe that, he got there and was like, okay, cool. So
because we're friends with the Wildlings now.
Okay, cool. Bye.
We're friends with the Wildlings now. Like the Night King has been defeated. Are these the entire thing just to fix the fucking Eastwatch wall? Like, what is the point? Like, what are they doing?
Like, I mean, I guess you could say that they would rebuild the wall just in case the threat ever arose again. Which would actually not be the worst idea, really. If they want to live beyond the wall, that's fine. Just open the gate for them. But like maybe rebuild the wall just in case like the Children of the Forest pop back up or something. I don't know. They weren't always cool with people.
Well, here's another thing. Because of the rushed nature of the last couple seasons, where did Bran warg to? What was the point why he was there? Like it just said like, oh, we won, and now we're going south, and so like it had to truncate all
he
that.
Was just relaying, tactical data from.
To who? They were alone with his guards, and that was it.
I don't fucking know, dude. It doesn't make any sense to me either. I just.
That's what I'm trying to be like. Come on, like there's definitely. Again, it's so fucking Cliff Notes PowerPoint. This is an outline. of what's supposed to
that's
happen.
just clearly what the issue is.
It's so like I didn't have a problem. Like I said, that's when people having problems with what happened. Like the only thing that I can understand, the only take I can get that I understand very wholly is the whole, oh, I have to kill her because like I have to fridge her because now I'm the sad victim that I have. Oh, pity the poor man who has to kill her. And it's like, no, dude, you should be pretty cool with the like. You should kind of, even if you're conflicted.
Okay, so a thought occurred.
Okay.
There is kind of a tiniest bit of an arc there, because he didn't kill Ygritte for duty, and she died anyway. It didn't matter. Like, so like, maybe there's something to be said for there being there. You lose what you love anyway if you don't make the right call, so just make the right call.
That's an interesting way to look at it, because you're right. He was supposed to kill Ygritte, he didn't.
Huh?
And then
there's almost something there.
He needs to kill Dany, and then chose to in that instance.
Yeah, that is actually kind of a character.
But I think that's difference. Ygritte, he was supposed to kill before he knew her. Like he was like they had just met. She was nobody to him.
Saying.
Dany was like somebody to him at that point.
Didn't do it. Loved her. Died anyway. Suffered for it.
I can see that though. I can.
I mean, I'm not saying it's necessarily the best choice to go with. I'm just saying I can kind of see it.
I can feel like if you have that extended amount of time. I can feel
like if I was like 15, I would find that story really interesting.
Yeah, to explore that, because he's kind of like, if he sat there and reflect on it, and he says like there have been times where I've needed to make the right call or do something that I didn't want to do and I didn't.
Yeah, if he has like a trinket from her that he like, ponders over before like making the call, like where it's obvious he's really thinking and thinking, oh God, like I'm gonna do the same thing again. Am I gonna lose anyway? Like, what's the point of losing her if I lose the entire fucking world too? Like, there's some stuff in there if you wanted to, and you just didn't.
Right, and but again, I have no problem with what they did, just how they did it. And that's fine.
I just don't know, because again, it's an outline. Outlines could be good or terrible. Like, the outline of Back to the Future sounds crazy, but the movie's great. So like,
all right. So what's gonna happen is like, so here's this guy. His best friend's a scientist. Like, you ever heard the John Mulaney bit about it? Like,
yeah.
Oh my God, it's like. And who's his best friend? An old scientist. Oh, so we're at the same age? No, he's like 70. Like, and then they have to steal things from the terrorists, and it's like, from Syrian terrorists? Yeah, and then he goes back, and then his mom tries to fuck him. Like, it's just like, what the fuck is this movie?
And then he has to try and find his way back to the present. Okay, and what's it called?
Back to the future.
To the future. Hell yeah.
It's so dumb, but I love that bit.
I just love John Mulaney. I appreciate his perspective.
But overall, yeah, like I said, I liked what happened. Just definitely not a fan of how it was done. I'm curious to see where, if the books come out, where that goes, because again, there's a lot of cliffhangers in those books. Like you said, Brienne is on the verge of dying, etc., etc. I would like to see how that plays out, especially since now the show is wrapped up. I want to know how much of the way that they handled it influences his writing. Does he just say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna kill Arya" at the very next second?
I mean, legit, his wife told him she'd leave him if he killed him, so I don't think that's actually going to happen.
Well, how happy is he in his?
How good is the marriage? How happy is he in his marriage?
Well, yeah, fair.
Could it be an out for him?
I mean, okay, so they've been married, writing the books, which is more than 22 years at this point, so that's at least long enough for alimony, and I don't think he wants to share.
Especially now with that Hollywood money now. Like,
nah.
the book money was already like solid, but then...
Well, shit, he's still rolling in dough with the book money. He released a book last year. He released a Game of Thrones book last year. Like, it's just
But
not the one we wanted.
not the one that we needed.
So, he's still doing just fine.
Except for his
Tortuga.
except for his books that are the main fucking books.
Yeah, except for those. But we've got a cookbook and a coloring book and a history of the Targaryens, which isn't a totally true history because it's an unreliable narrator, so that's
Who's the narrator?
necessary. I don't know whoever wrote the damn book, like some historian or a maester or something. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, a lot of these books are written through like the perspective of
They're
like
lore
maesters.
books. It's like he's writing a D&D campaign.
He is 100% running a D&D campaign.
He got it started for me. He's like, okay, D&D, finish my campaign. Haha, see.
There was that rumor that the director for Dark Souls was talking with George R. R. Martin about probably making a Game of Thrones like Dark Souls game.
Oh, dude.
That sounds awful, and here's why. Unless it's just, okay, we took Dark Souls and all the lore is replaced with Game of
Just a
Thrones shit.
reskin?
Yeah, it's literally just be a reskin. I don't want to play as Brienne of Tarth and go around and take the King's Road. And like, oh my god. Like,
No, but if you did the KOTOR route,
that's what I'm saying. It has to be. That's what I'm saying. But all it is
I would pay whatever you wanted, George. Just do it. Just do it.
But you would have to basically make a setting in which it takes place so far removed, either in the future or the past.
The original Dance with Dragons, or the Fall of Valyria, or.
But I don't want.
anything else.
I don't want to see that as a.
Well,
as
then
a
don't do any of
game.
that. Just do it in that setting. Like, that's the time period, but we're doing shit over here.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm fine with that.
Like, there's lots of magic because there's dragons all over Valyria. We're here, so we're just doing like medieval shit, high fantasy. Like, cool. Let's go.
I would love for the whatever that story would be to end with, and the dragons are coming.
Right.
Like, and then so depending on how well the game does, it makes that sequel to then just be the action packed of the Dance of Dragons kind of thing. Like, that would be fun.
I'm thinking like Dragon Age set in old Westeros.
My dragon is coming. Fuck you, Phot. All right. Well, I think that's our time for the actual podcast proper. Thanks everybody. We got through it. We got through the
We did it.
the ending of Game of Thrones, and now it's.
Well, what do we look forward to now?
I know what I look forward to. I look forward to everything else because there's so much media. Like, it's okay. One of the things that I guess before we wrap up, one of the things that does always like upset me is the people who are so proud to be so anti popular media. I'm part of this percentage who's never seen an episode of this, or I've never seen a Star Wars movie. That doesn't. If that's what you're hanging your hat on, that you haven't seen something, that means that you're probably a pretty boring person. Like, I want to know what you like. I don't care that you haven't seen this.
Talk about something else.
Yeah, like, could you give me something that you did like though? Like, give me something that you do like. Give me what are you passionate about then? Because a lot of people are passionate about Game of Thrones, both the book and the show, and in different degrees.
Well,
And
like, y'all hear me talk all the time about how I haven't seen something popular. Like, I don't watch a lot of popular stuff. I watch it really late, but I watch other shit that's really interesting to me and talk about it and recommend it. It's easier to not shit on stuff. You just
okay, like you're into baseball. I am not so much anymore. But I'm not gonna sit there and be like, I haven't watched a game in like at all in the last couple seasons. Like,
I try and keep the memes approachable.
but no, but even then, it's kind of like, but why? What does that matter that I haven't? Like, why would I go about going like, I'm part of the population who's never cheered for the Yankees or whatever the fuck stupid like spin-off memes, because that's what they become. Like, that's there's some spin-off memes that are just kind of like, you're appropriating the meme out of its original intention, and I don't like it.
Right. This is not what the founding fathers intended.
This is not why we have cheeseburgers, okay? You can't just do that. But yeah, I don't know. It's
You
just
ask
weird.
somebody why they're white.
Like what I'm looking forward to is a lot. Like I'm looking forward to Far From Home. I'm looking forward to see how Picard does. Like there's a lot of stuff on the horizon that I don't need Game of Thrones to fill a hole that in my life or anything like that. Like I still love the show, but
I mean, no, it's a good question though, because I mean, we've been building towards Endgame for a long, and
Yeah.
that ended just a short while ago. And again, I've been waiting on resolution for Game of Thrones since 2005, so like, it has been a pervasive trend in my life. And suddenly, two things that I've been waiting, years for just aren't there anymore. I don't have those things to look forward to anymore. So like,
you know what I still have high hopes for?
I'm not sitting on anything that I'm waiting to like come out years from now.
A second Republic Commando game.
Never happened.
We'll get you back, Sev. I promise. I'm so sorry. Never forget, dude.
Sev dead, man.
Like,
Like, can I just get the
Yeah.
next Republic Commando book?
oh,
Like
true.
Karen Travis, just go in there and conveniently like typo like Republic and lightsaber, just like it's a light slaber. It's fine, like whatever.
Or just
Just release it as a free PDF.
I was
Like,
gonna
it's
say release it for
fiction.
free, but like you're funded
I
on
guess-
Patreon or some shit. Like I don't know, like do something.
I would pay for it. I really would.
I guess there's the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I am kind of excited about that.
That's true. That is true.
Favreau gets a free pass. Whatever he wants to do, I'm in.
I know if Favreau's gonna be passionate about it, put it by like the Chef TV series. Let's do it.
Every time Favreau like gets a free pass to do something he wants to do, good things come.
I mean,
So it's-
except for the Jungle Book, I wasn't really a fan.
MC was fine. I liked it.
I don't know. The Jungle Book was kind of whatever.
I haven't even seen that yet, but I don't feel like that was his thing so much. Hey, we'll pay you to do this.
You think it's director for hire on that one?
I think so.
Yeah,
That's the
probably.
impression I get. That doesn't
Just
seem like a
attach
Jon
your name to
Favreau passion project to me. I could be wrong. That's just a
I think the Chef the TV series is gonna be a passion project, dude.
Chef miniseries makes perfect sense to me. Like actual Chef
I
show.
still
Like,
haven't
yeah,
seen the movie.
duh.
Oh, dude,
it's so
you
good.
oh.
It's surprisingly good. It really is.
It has like a very cheesy kind of like poster and look to it that you're like, oh, it's
Yeah.
gonna. You think it's gonna be one thing, but then you just watch it and you're like, oh, this is so
No,
good.
it's really
Like,
good.
it's so good.
Highly recommended. Like if you've just been sitting on it, watch it.
Yeah, I agree. So that's how we end the
Make
podcast.
that your
Recommendation. Recommendation. So Phot needs to watch
That's
Brooklyn
what I'm
Nine-Nine.
wondering
He's got to watch
Watch
Dealt
fucking Chef.
and watch
All right,
Chef.
I'll watch.
You need to start making a list. Like we just have a list of shit.
Martin
to
and I
watch.
have a list. Well, that's how I operate. I need lists.
All right. So thanks everybody. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys next week. Bye. Wait.
Are we doing Cool Kids?
Doing the cool kid. Bye. Goodbye. All right. See you next week.